Hey, it's Russ from the Infectious Groove podcast and vinyl channel. I've done quite a few videos on rare 12-inch records that I have, live sets, rare pressings, stuff that needs to be repressed, but I haven't really touched on any 7-inch records yet, and I don't have a ton of rare 7-inch stuff, but I'm going to feature some in today's video coming right up. So as far as 7-inch records go, it's kind of a mixed bag for a lot of collectors. Some people love them, some people hate them. The biggest thing that I hear from newer vinyl collectors is they don't really get into 7-inch records too much because they like to put the drop the stylus on the record, go across the room and sit back and take in at least that 20 minutes of music or so, and then, flip the record and so on. So they don't really want to run over to the turntable every 2-3 minutes to flip over the record. My personal setup, if you go back and watch the first video in our entire channel, is a tour of this whole place. And my personal setup, we have a table around where all of our friends sit around, and my chair happens to be right next to the turntable. So I'm not opposed to 7-inch records at all, but what I find is I don't end up buying a lot of newer 7-inch records because I just end up buying full albums nowadays. However, when I was a kid, like everybody else my age, I had a ton of 7-inch records, and there's a lot of one-hit wonders from the 50s, 60s, and 70s that I go back and get. But I have picked up some rare 7-inch records along the way, and I thought I'd share them with everybody today. The first one is one of two record store day pieces that I'm going to share, and it seems like every record store day there's some good 7-inch records out there. These two are really the only ones that really interested me, one of which was a 7-inch for a live version of Believer by Ozzy Osbourne, and on the flip side is a different remix of Goodbye to Romance, featuring just the guitar and vocal. This was kind of to promote the latest Blizzard of Oz box set that had come out at that time, the 30th anniversary box set, but it was also to be a special record store day piece. Now this one's a double whammy because I already own the live album that's from, and that the version of Believer is from, and I really wasn't all that interested in the vocal and guitar mix of Goodbye to Romance on the other side. And on top of that, it's a picture disc, but the picture disc itself looks kind of cool, being polka dot like Randy's Flying V was, which is kind of cool, but I've never really played this, and this is one of those pieces that about 10 years ago when I started going to Record Store Day, I kind of just bought things to buy them. Like, oh, I like Ozzy and that's a Record Store Day piece. I wasn't buying it specifically to say, oh, that's going to be worth something someday. It was just an artist I liked and I was excited to be at Record Store Day. So I bought that. So that's one of those pieces that's cool to have because it is rare now, but I don't really listen to it all that much because it's a picture disc and because I have that same live track across the live album. Now this one here I listened to quite a bit, and this was a Record Store Day piece that I love. I'll show the 7-inch records themselves in a second, but this is an Alice in Chains double 7-inch set that came out for Record Store Day a few years back. Now across this you get some of the later era Alice in Chains songs that were released right around the time Lane passed away, when the Music Bank box set came out. Let's see here, there's a Little Bitter remix, you have What the Hell Have I remix, you have Died, and then the reason why I bought this particular set is for the song Get Born Again. I absolutely love this song. I know Alice in Chains has a ton of classic songs, but to be honest, if someone was to ask me what my favorite Alice in Chains song is of all time, it's probably Get Born Again. If it's not Get Born Again, it's definitely something from that later era. I just really, really love a lot of what they were doing at that time. The next one that I have is a 7-inch that I purchased because the full album that it's from is so rare. I to be honest, never thought that I would get the full album, so I was going to take the song that I could get from it. In the time since, I was able to track down a original pressing of the full album, but I hang on to this because it's sentimental to me, and I love the song. Every so often we'll just bust this 7-inch out instead of the whole album. And that's Hooligan's Holiday, the first single from the Motley Crue '94 album with John Corabi. It's a little disappointing in the fact that there's not like a demo or an extra track on the B-side. There's just a very slightly different remix of Hooligan's Holiday on the flip side from this. And to be honest, I've put it on before, not even knowing which one I've put on, the regular one or the remix. There's really not that much of a sonic difference to me. But again, I bought it because I thought I was never going to get the entire record. Another one, now this one here I purchased after I had the full album for it, but this I did buy just for rarity's sake, and that is the 7-inch for Guns N' Roses, the song Chinese Democracy, and it's backed with Shackler's Revenge, which is actually the second track on the album, Chinese Democracy. This was, from what I understand, never available in the United States. It was only available as a giveaway in the UK, and it's kind of cool. It's got some extra artwork in the center that was never included inside the actual Chinese Democracy 12-inch album. And I am a big fan of that era of GNR. I might be one of the only ones, but I'm a big fan of that era. So that was more of a collector's thing than me. I personally like the whole album enough to where I busted out and listened to the entirety of Chinese Democracy. But for me, it was fun to have that 7-inch just based on rarity alone. Next one up is another one that I, for years, thought I would never find this full album, so I settled for the 7-inch for the song that I love from it. I actually recently, within the last year, was able to find the full album for this record, but again, I'm going to hang on to this because I don't really buy any records to flip or to sell off or anything like that, so I will definitely be hanging on to this. But this is the 7-inch for Most High by Jimmy Page and Robert Plant, which is the first single off of their second LP that they did together. And I did a video on both of their records, and for me this song was awesome because it was what everybody wanted. Everybody wanted Jimmy Page and Robert Plant to do some new material instead of just saying, okay, here's more Led Zeppelin stuff again. And this is a fantastic song. I love this song, and I honestly thought I'd never catch the whole album on vinyl, so I was gonna settle for this, and that's why I own both now. It sounds fantastic. It was available in the UK, so I got it off of Discogs years ago, and I'm real happy with it. This last one probably is the most rare record that I own, 7-inch record, and that is Connected by Love by Jack White. Now, anybody who's a Third Man fan probably says everything from Third Man is in print all the time, so how is Connected by Love rare at all? And that is because it is the only 7-inch from Third Man that I own that is a tricolor 7-inch. Now, I know there's videos on YouTube of people who have every single Third Man tricolor in 12-inch and 7-inch, but for me, this is the only one that I have. I have a ton of Third Man 7-inches between Jack White, the White Stripes, the vaults, everything that comes up that gets released from other artists on Third Man. I have a ton, but that's the only tricolor that I have is Jack White, Connected by Love. I'm not a huge fan of this album, Boarding House Reach. I do own it, but I'm not a huge fan of it. I love this single though, and I was hoping that the rest of the record was going to be closer to this. So for me to have that tricolor version of it on 7-inch, it's a pretty cool thing to own. So there's some rare 7-inch records that I have. What are some of the more rare ones you have, or maybe just a prized possession one? Maybe something that's super common, but it's just one that you love that was maybe passed down to you or you've had since you were a kid. Make sure to light up the comment section below. If you haven't already, please make sure you hit that subscribe button today. If you have anybody who's into music and vinyl that you might be able to share this video with and think they might enjoy our channel, we would greatly appreciate that. In any case, thanks for watching.